Cowgill's going to be called for an offensive foul. Lowered his shoulder. Jamal Williams make that. Bobby Jones came over to help. Cowgill picks up just his second personal foul.
Cowgill trying to do a little bit too much right there. When you have to come from that far out, especially against good defense, Bobby Jones, who's been tested on the perimeter, is certainly going to be exactly where he should be defensively when his man is in the low post. So very easy defensive play, but a great defensive play by Bobby Jones.
Roy on the cut down inside. It'll be 2 free throws coming. Kyle Weaver, easy play to call over the top of Brandon Roy. So the senior will get to the line. So far on the night, Washington just 11 of 19. Brandon Roy individually 4 of 5.
Brandon Roy on that cut to the basket, giving Kyle Weaver a little bit of his own medicine. You know, Brandon Roy at 6'6", 210 is very comfortable in that low post as well. And, you know, to get himself started right now, realizing that Washington needs baskets, they need high percentage baskets, gets an offensive putback, and then a post-up gets him to the line.
A lifetime left in this game as both free throws are good. It is 69-64, the Cougars over the Huskies. 3 minutes remaining here in Seattle.
It's in these situations where great point guard play and knowledge become critical.
Look at the pressure that Washington was putting on Cowgill 35 feet from the basket. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Jones picks his pocket, and a foul near midcourt on Okoyen, so it's going to be free throws coming to Bobby Jones, and Washington State all of a sudden, to my eye anyway, Larry, starting to look a little bit tentative.
Well, you got Robbie Cowgill out there by himself, and leads are being denied. Doesn't do a great job of keeping that ball close to his body, and as terrific a perimeter defender as Bobby Jones is, if you expose that basketball with his quick hands, he's going to dislodge it. But that goes back to what I was saying about always having that great playmaker, that point guard on the floor in times of pressure.
Bobby Jones, who's been struggling from the free throw line, makes the first of 2, now 3 of 7. Coming back on is senior Randy Green out of Renton, Washington. He started the game in place of Derek Lowe. And of course, the Cougars have done a fantastic job playing without Derek Lowe, but now is when they really need him.
Against hard pressure, against trapping defenses, attacking, pulling the ball back, maintaining dribble control against pressure. Those are all those little things that Derek Lowe learned the hard way last year and was very good at this year.
2 big free throws by the senior Bobby Jones. 9-0 run now for the Huskies over the last 147.
Washington's got to sit down in their stances, not get bored, but really play defense and make their defense better, deeper.
Okoyen from way downtown, not there. Ball deflected, and here come the Huskies. A chance to tie. Denton spins in the lane, spins again. Jensen for the tie. That's going to be off the mark. Long rebound is taken by Weaver. Washington State with numbers. Clark is there, and he throws it down. Big transition basket for Washington State.
And all done by Weaver. Weaver got his head up right away.
And another one of those very tough calls. Boy, what a basketball game between Washington and Washington State. And they say the Apple Cup in basketball doesn't come close. I know it doesn't yet, but it's getting closer.
Well, you see Weaver right there. He has his head up the whole time, and with that point guard experience he has, he was looking past, and Washington State won't take advantage of early shots unless they get a layup, and Ivory Clark did a nice job of sprinting the floor, making the catch and finishing.
Ivory Clark has just fouled out, played brilliantly off the bench, as has Caleb Forrest, and of course Josh Okoyen, Washington State's bench. You know, statistics can be a little misleading. Of course, their bench is putting up good numbers because Dick Bennett has started 9 different lineups, so a lot of different players are getting a lot of different looks and a fair shake time-wise.
You can see Coach Bennett really couldn't take a lot of time to maybe ice Dentman because of the new rule. You have 20 seconds to substitute for a player who's fouled out. A lot of coaches over the years would really take advantage and take their time and utilize a timeout. Oftentimes I know I would call the team over and use it as a timeout, talk about what we needed to do defensively, set the offense before I would substitute for the player that has just fouled out. But now you have 20 seconds.
Both free throws good by Justin Dentman. Boy, you saw those free throw numbers. Washington 17 of 25. Washington State been to the line just 10 times and made 8. 71-68. 140 remaining here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. Ball tipped away by Dentman. He's got the steal. Does he have it? Calgill after it. Bobby Jones comes up with it. Jones going to attack the basket. That won't fall, and a foul is going to be called. The official out near midcourt is signaling.
Yeah, that was called in the backcourt. He blew his whistle and nobody heard it.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, he was raising his hand. Now watch the pressure that Dentman puts on Okoyen. Right there, Okoyen loses the ball and Dentman saves it. Ill-advised the way he tossed it because Washington State at their end might have been able to make a play on the ball and get a basket, but as it were, Bobby Jones out-hustles the Washington State players and gets the ball, and now they have an opportunity, does Washington, to take advantage at the free throw line.
That foul.
Your best defender playing great defense, give him the ball a couple of times and let him have success that way, and now when he comes back on defense, you know he's going to give you all he has, and although he's been taken advantage of on the perimeter, he's going to make great plays defensively on the inside.
Misses the second free throw. Weaver with the rebound. Brandon Burmeister, expert three-point shooter, already made a couple here this evening, out pressuring.
Washington State's got a team out there of all very good ball handlers and all very good free throw shooters.
Okoyen on the floor. Dentman tried to draw the charge. 12 on the shot clock. Weaver working on Burmeister, gets bumped. Pass to nobody but Bobby Jones. So another turnover against the pressure. Brandon Roy down the lane. It would have counted had it gone, but it'll be 2 free throws coming to Roy, who looks to add to his game-leading 25-point total.
Late in the shot clock, you see Weaver trying to get around Burmeister, and Burmeister did a nice job of maintaining his position, forcing what looked like half shot, half pass, and then Brandon Roy in transition deciding I can get to the basket, and if I don't get a high percentage look at the basket, I'm definitely going to draw a foul.
That foul was on freshman Caleb Forrest for Washington State. Both free throws are good. Mike Jensen will be in. They're going to let him come in right now. 55.9 seconds remaining. 71-71. The Huskies and the Cougars. 14-2 run now by Washington over the last 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Mike Jensen, a very good post defender, and he's coming to the game to guard Caleb Forrest. He's also a very good shooter.
Timeout is taken by Washington State. Boy, do they ever need a basket or some free throws. Dick Bennett going out to visit with one of the officials. And it is a full timeout, and so both teams will gather around their respective coaches, and the onus now on Washington State. They don't have Derek Lowe, and so where do they go for a shot in this situation?
Well, you know, that's a terrific point to think about 2 for 1, but the Washington State style has always been to play that slower, so I would be really surprised unless they got an absolute layup, which, you know, Washington's not going to give them, that they don't milk this down and get the shot that they want.
Looking in. Oh, Brandon Roy with a near steal. What a brilliant move coming around the baseline side of Calgill, who was trying to post him up.
You see the advantage right there, Calgill with his size, but Brandon Roy was not at all going to allow that easy post feed. He slipped that hold out and was able to knock the ball away.
Okoyen on the dribble, down inside, throws up a wide, gets his own rebound, stuck under the basket. Shot clock is off. Washington State should work for the absolute final shot, but Okoyen, the three-pointer from outside the arc, has 25, a new career high. And Brandon Roy just picked up his 5th personal foul. Wow, what a sequence.
So Weaver might have made the best defensive play he's made this year. Okoyen that time with the ill-advised shot, although the shot clock was winding down, gets his offensive rebound and then really doesn't know where he is on the floor, but gets bailed out by a good hustle play. Now, as Kyle Weaver starts to penetrate and spots Cowgill, he rotates the ball over. Very early in the shot clock, Okoye with the guts of a burglar, he gets that shot off. Boy, and right there, Brandon Roy trying to take advantage in transition and get to the basket, maybe draw a foul and get to the foul line. But Weaver is set, gets his body between Roy and the basket, takes the contact on his torso. Well, that's a good call by the official.
And that's obviously knowing your opponent. Bobby Jones
right
trying to get a timeout called. Wow. The official is there, didn't see the timeout. And speaking of that, we'll have one right now, but let's set it up for you. 12.3 seconds remaining. Have to foul immediately and send Washington State to the free throw line. And I mentioned that Weaver, knowing your opponent, Brandon Roy, right-handed, wanted to push it to the right side, and there you see a dejected Roy on the sideline. What a game he had going. 15 points very, very early. 2 quick fouls, then a third, and the rest of the... He's been brilliant, 27 points. Precious seconds go off the clock, and Okoye, 9 of 16 from the floor, 6 of 10 from downtown. These will just be his 3rd and 4th free throws, but still 10.3 seconds remaining, and Okoye just... I said it was ill-advised because shot clock was off. If you're Washington State with a tie, you want to make sure you take the last shot of the game, and he took a three-pointer with about 17 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, there was a lot of time, and on the road you want to play for that last shot to win it or go overtime.
Okoye buries the first of 2 free throws. So Washington State has lost 11 straight games here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. And this is a shocker, an absolute shocker. What a job Washington State has done. Short-handed, without Derek Lowe. They have got brilliant performances from Okoye, also off the bench by Ivory Clark, and the freshman Caleb Forrest has been absolutely key. Everything Washington State has done in the second half. Burmeister looking to inbound. Back to Burmeister, about a 28-footer on the way off the side of the iron. Cowgill with a rebound, and he's fouled immediately, and Washington State is going to come over to Seattle and win for the first time in 11 seasons in very, very unlikely fashion, once again because of the absence of Derek Lowe, their fine point guard, leading scorer, and one of their most clutch players with respect to his ability to make shots.
Well, it's all about stepping up, and when you lose as valuable a component as Derek Lowe, you have to have other players step up, and they really did play that point guard position by committee. Derek Lowe playing that position. I thought Josh Okoye did a nice job. Randy Green in relief coming out. And between the three of them, they were able to ward off enough pressure where there weren't a lot of turnovers in the backcourt and take advantage of some of the other things they do in their offense.
Cowgill now with a dozen to go along with 7 rebounds. Next up for the Washington Schools, a trip to Los Angeles, and there is the final horn. Washington State upsets the University of Washington in dramatic style, thanks to so many players, but most notably among them, Josh Okoye. And what a job once again by Dick Bennett. What can you say about what Coach Bennett has done at Washington State?
Well, you still talk about those building blocks and knocking off those programs that have dominated you for so long, and sometimes you have to take baby steps in, playing the 6 freshmen that Coach Bennett had to play last year and taking your lumps and learning. But you start last year with, sweeping the UCLA schools, beating some teams that you hadn't beaten in a long time, and then going into Arizona, which is one of the toughest places, has become one of the toughest places to win, and then knocking that monkey, which had become the size of King Kong, off your back, and then you come in here and do the same thing. So you've got to be very happy, very comfortable if you're a Washington State Cougar fan, knowing the program's moving in the right direction, because all of a sudden you're beating teams that you couldn't beat in the past.
A dejected Brandon Roy heads to the locker room, and a jubilant Kyle Weaver along with Josh Okoye lead the way for the Washington State Cougars, who take down the 10th-ranked Huskies from Washington by a final score of 78-71. For Larry Farmer, I'm Paul Sunderland, saying goodnight for now from Heck Edmondson Pavilion.